I first became aware of this project about 5 years ago. A friend of mine was telling me about these magical meetings he was having with Warren Beatty at his house, and he just told me all these amazing stories, and I just sat there in awe thinking, oh my God, that's the dream. That's crazy. That's something I would never get to do, but wow, good for you. And then cut to 5 years later, I got a phone call and they said, Warren Beatty wants to talk to you about his film, and I just never would have thought that 5 years later it would have come full circle.
I always feel when I'm working, I'm lucky enough to get really what I would call great actors. I always feel that they're sort of directing me a little bit too. I think anyone who underestimates the importance of actors is kind of silly. I believe very much in what I call the blink. I think the unconscious is filled with knowledge that the conscious mind might be a little slow to catch up on. My conscious mind, it took me less than 10 seconds to realize that Lily was the person that would be, in my opinion, perfect for this story. Your name is
Marla.
Marla.
Marla Mabry.
Marla Mabry, yes.
And what church do you go to, Frank, if you don't mind my asking?
Well, it's First Methodist. It's in Fresno.
All right, you're a Methodist. I forgive you. She's kidding. We're Baptist.
What can I say about Annette Bening? There's no greater actress.
I had a great time. I'd made movies with him, but I'd never been directed by him. So, and I'd been told that being directed by him was a great experience. Many actors that I know have told me that. Obviously, he makes great movies, but to actually be there, his enthusiasm is infectious, and he is incredibly attentive. He really respects and loves actors and really wants to hear what they have to say, and if you've got an idea or you want to throw something in. He also let me improvise a little bit, which I love doing. So he was just so excited and responsive, and there's something that's very basic about as actors that we need, especially on a quiet movie set, we need people who are responding so we can have a sense of what's getting across. And he, like many of the really great directors, he's just a great audience. And so I felt very free. I felt excited to be there. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, it was a delight. And he got to boss me around, which I think he kind of enjoyed.
Are you deaf?
What?
You're deaf, and you're old. You're very old, and you're very deaf.
You're calling me old and deaf?
You're deaf, and you're old, and very deaf, and very old.
You do not know what your job is.
I know what my job is. You do not know what my job is.
You don't know what your job is. You don't know what your job is.
I know my job.
You know what your job is? You know, it's was.
Is.
Was.
Is.
Was.
Is.
Was.
Is.
No, was. There's no actor that's more fun to work with than Matthew Broderick. He's sort of a perfect actor, and he has got a great sense of what's funny.
I had a lot of rehearsal time. It was mostly Alden and Lily, but then I joined for a week or two, and we would rehearse kind of in his kitchen, but really just sitting around a table with the script and asking questions. And in a way, those rehearsals in film, and all rehearsals are, you kind of get to know each other and relationships develop. But when we were shooting, sometimes Warren was very specific, but he also liked if you could bring something or had an idea, and you always had an opportunity to get it exactly what he wanted, and then also maybe try something.
You can see all of the people that we have in this picture.
Mr. Hughes?
Oliver Platt. I would hate to do a movie without Oliver Platt now. Steve Coogan is hilarious. Marty Sheen is a gift to any movie that he's in, as is Ed Harris. Ed Harris was kind enough to come in and work with Amy Madigan, who's his wife, and Candy Bergen. I've known Candy since she was, I think, 17 or 18. She walked into a room and everyone fainted. She's got a great comedic sense and is a wonderful dramatic actress. Thaisa Farmiga, who is the girlfriend of Frank, she's a wonderful actress.
Mo Dalitz says he needs you to change floors. They own the hotel. The mob is nothing to be fooled with. Can we please meet?
Alec Baldwin is priceless. Alec Baldwin plays Bob Mayhew. It is true that Mayhew never met Howard Hughes, and Mayhew made all of those deals for Howard Hughes, and finally, and Bob Mayhew told me this, that he called Howard and said, Howard, this is indecent that I am entrusted with all of this responsibility for running this entire company, but do you realize that we have never met face to face? And what Bob told me was that Howard started to cry on the telephone, and he said,
"If you were to actually see me, you could not represent me in the way that I need to be."
Frank Forbes is an ambitious young man who starts as a driver in the Hughes organization and eventually works his way up to being Hughes' assistant and essentially running his company. Warren has always said about the relationship between Frank and Howard is that it starts as kind of a father-son thing that eventually Frank becomes his father in a way.
From now on, will you call me Howard?
And there's certainly a feeling, I think in my character and Lily's character, of experiences that he had early on or ambitions that he had, feelings he had, and also perhaps his point of view at that time of Hollywood. The rehearsal process, I guess we could call it that, would be we'd go to Warren's house and kind of spend the whole day there. And it was actually really interesting for me because I got to be privy to production meetings, budget meetings. I went on multiple location scouts, which was really interesting. And it's a kind of process that as an actor, you're not usually privy to that kind of stuff.
Hey, so I hope you liked that video. What did you think of the actors? Did they do a good job? Well, today I've got for you a list of the top 10 highest grossing actors of all time, as of the 30th of June 2016 by Box Office Mojo. Harrison Ford has been named as the highest grossing actor, and Scarlett Johansson the highest grossing actress. So here is the list and their earnings in millions USD. Coming in at number 1 is Harrison Ford with 4871.7. Number 2 is Samuel L. Jackson at 4646.8. Morgan Freeman is number 3 with 443. Number 4 is Tom Hanks with 4340.7. Robert Downey Jr. is number 5 with 3943.6. Number 6 is Eddie Murphy with 3810.4. Number 7 is Tom Cruise at 3587.2. Number 8, Johnny Depp, 3366.3. Michael Caine at number 9 with 3340.5. And Scarlett Johansson at number 10 with 3332.1. So what did you think of the list? Do you think these actors merit earning that much? Who do you think is worth the most money? Let me know in the comments below, and remember to subscribe to Film Is Now to stay up to date on all the best trailers.